Hi, my name is Zach Simmons, and this is Pro Football Today. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about what's going on around the NFL. Combine is just starting up. When the Combine starts up, you hear a little bit of news going on when it comes to free agency. And we'll talk a little bit about the XFL as well. So I didn't have a video last week. Sorry about that. If you were looking forward to seeing that, time kind of got caught up to me. So a couple weeks back, Greg Olsen did sign someplace. I said before that Buffalo is his best option. I said Buffalo is a pretty good option. Washington might be a good option. Seattle is a terrible option. He should never choose Seattle. Well, guess what? He chose Seattle. Why? I'm guessing he wants that ring. I'm guessing he wants to be on a team that's ready now. And let's be honest, Washington definitely isn't there yet. Buffalo, though, I think Buffalo probably could. I think he just likes the vibe in Seattle. Who can blame him? That's a very good place to be. The problem is they don't utilize their tight ends very well. This last year is probably the only year since they've had Russell Wilson they actually incorporate the tight end into things. Jimmy Graham really felt out of place. The problem is Greg Olsen kind of plays. He kind of played like Jimmy Graham role before Jimmy Graham came to the NFL. That's the kind of tight end Greg Olsen is. He's a vertical pass catcher. He's not a dink and dunk kind of tight end. He's not a blocking tight end. He's a vertical tight end. That's what Jimmy Graham was. They couldn't figure out how to use Jimmy Graham, so are they going to figure out how to use Greg Olsen? There's a good chance Olsen is just going to be the backup to Will Dissly. Dissly will have the main job. Olsen's just going to be a secondary tight end. So they need any two tight end packages. They have Greg Olsen, who might be a better option than Jacob Hollister. But honestly, I still think Buffalo was a smart option for him. It must have just been the environment that there's something about Seattle, which we all know there's something about Seattle that draws people there. When it comes to Wilson, when it comes to Pete Carroll, they just have this really good atmosphere. So, of course, it's going to be appealing to someone like Greg Olsen. But I'm still thinking that football-wise, it might be a mistake. Chemistry-wise, it might be okay, but football-wise, I just don't think he's going to be incorporating the things. But it might be a good way for him to slow down before retirement. Looks like he might have some broadcasting jobs. He already has a broadcasting job in the XFL. So that's going on. Now, the one thing you hear about in Combine, the one thing you always hear about is the quarterbacks. You take a look at the quarterbacks there in the Combine, you also hear all this news about free agent quarterbacks. So the big one is Tom Brady. Tom Brady, for it sounds like, will be a free agent, will not be coming back to New England. Of course, things can change. It sounds like that's because of the CBA. They want the CBA in place before they go grab him. That does make sense. But they haven't talked to him whatsoever. And it looks like they may have expressed interest in Marcus Mariota. So how does that work? Are they just looking at every single option, or are they prepared to move away from Tom Brady? And if that's the case, is Marcus Mariota really the guy to take that spot? Completely different quarterback. Belichick has to completely change up the scheme for Marcus Mariota. But when it comes to New England, it comes down to this. They have to bring targets. Brady's not going to come back if they don't bring targets. Edelman is done. If he returns in 2020, which I haven't heard anything otherwise, this will be his last year, is what I'm expecting anyway. Dorsett has never been a good option. They let go of Amendola, let go of Hogan, Josh Gordon. We all know what happened with Josh Gordon. Antonio Brown. We all know what happened with Antonio Brown. But they need some other help. And N'Keal Harry could be something, but he's never on the field. Even when he is on the field, there's some kind of miscommunication between him and Brady. That he's not running exactly. He's not running the routes that Brady's expecting him to run. So there's definitely some red flags when it comes to that. I get he's a rookie, but still, those do cause some red flags. But other news outside New England, you have Las Vegas. Las Vegas Raiders have expressed interest in Tom Brady. There's talks they are expected to give him a 2-year deal. In that case, what does it mean for Derek Carr? It looks like Derek Carr could be on the trade block. John Gruden's kind of talking against that, but it looks like Derek Carr will be on the trade block along with Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton will be on the trade block, and Cam Newton stays in Carolina. That's pretty big as far as we know. That's what they've said. They can easily do something else. You can say one thing and completely do another thing. With the Bears, they said that Mike Glenn's the quarterback in 2017, and we all know what happened there. Trubisky comes on, and now we don't know what to do. But there's a lot of things going on here with quarterbacks. Tannehill. He's expected to go back to Tennessee. They're expected to give him a good deal. Problem is, they can only bring in one or two of him, Conklin, and Henry. Tannehill's a priority, but will Tannehill decide, you know what, maybe I'll just slip through. There's a lot of things going on, though. Another one, just popped in my head just now. Washington, looks like they have expressed interest in Tua. They've expressed interest in Tua if he stays healthy. So that's something you got to watch for. Are they going to go Chase Young, or are they going to go Tua? Yes, they did just draft Dwayne Haskins. Is that a mistake, drafting Haskins in the first round and then going for Tua? Well, look what Arizona did with Kyler. They had Josh Rosen. They traded up for Josh Rosen, let him go, trade to Miami so they can get Kyler Murray. But obviously Tua, he's not Kyler Murray. Some people really like Tua. Some people really don't like Tua. Kyler, there's some problems with his size, but for the most part, everyone could see the talent there. Everyone could see that, okay, yeah, this guy is worthy of being the number one pick overall. You don't really have that with Tua. The best comparison when it comes to Kyler would be Joe Burrow. So it's one of those questions, is Tua someone you can pass up? Is he worthy of being passed up? Is he just as high overall guy that, man, he's going to change his entire system? Or can you take a couple more years in Dwayne Haskins? They're better off with Haskins. Just saying. Tua has got some problems. Haskins has got some problems. But you already invested 1 year in Haskins. You might as well not start completely over with Tua. Haskins can still be. He still has the potential of being a good franchise quarterback for them. Yes, he needs work. Yes, he does need work. But so does Tua. Tua needs work as well. So don't. I would say go for Chase Young. Build up this defense. Make the Washington defense something you have to fear. We haven't really said that. In fact, I can't remember the last time I said the Washington defense is something to be feared. But you have Collins there. Build up this defense. Get some more corners. Sounds like Josh Norman's out. In fact, they may have released him. I actually don't know. But build up this defense. So if I was Washington, go and get Chase Young. So a lot of things going on in the NFL right now. It's Combine. You got all these news stories. But they're not going to be finalized until free agency begins here next month. Looking forward to it. I'm going to have probably I might have some extra shows just so I can cover a little bit more free agency. But now let's take a turn to the XFL. Week 1 was spectacular. Week 2, it was a little bit of a dip. Talent-wise, it seemed like the excitement was a little bit over. It wasn't as good as it was week 1. But last week I thought I came back. I thought talent-wise, very good. These teams are really starting to gel. So I can just imagine how good week 4 is going to be. But this league, it's working. It actually is working. If you compare this league to the AAF. Now, people like the AAF. People wanted to stick around. In fact, it would have stuck throughout the year. Maybe not year 2, but we're stuck throughout the year if it just had the money. And XFL is still blowing out of the water. Compare the AAF views. XFL is actually doing pretty good. It's doing very, very well. A lot of that may be because it's on better networks than the AAF. AAF just has NFL Network. Not everyone has NFL Network. CBS Sports, even less people have CBS Sports. And then Bleacher Report Live, even less people than them have Bleacher Report Live. So not a lot of people were able to watch the games, and the games just weren't as exciting. They didn't really have good announcers. Now you have ABC, as far as I know. Anyone who has cable has ABC. Fox, the same thing. Yes, you do have FS1, but most people also have ESPN. The network's a very good job by the XFL. And these are secondary networks. They kind of waited to see what the AAF was going to do before they started making deals. They went under the assumption that the AAF will be around for year 2 and year 3. So they had to choose their networks very carefully. So these were kind of the afterthoughts for the AAF, which is strange because it makes sense. It makes sense to have a new spring football league to be on ESPN. It just makes sense. And with that, you can have a tie to ABC. I mean, there's a tie between ABC and ESPN, owned by the same people. And then you also have and Fox. I mean, I don't know why the AAF passed on ABC, ESPN, and Fox. It doesn't make any sense to me. But they did. Luckily, they did. And now the XFL is thriving because of the decisions the AAF made. But the XFL, the big question is, in year 2, what is it going to look like in year 2? All these stars, PJ Walker, Landry Jones, they're probably going to be on NFL teams. There's no way PJ Walker will be on the practice squad and then will elect to go back to the XFL. He's staying, unless the XFL does something with their contracts, allow them to get more money. PJ Walker is going to be going to the NFL as a backup. Now, could he go as a starter? Possibly, but don't go too crazy on that. He's not going to be a starter right out of the XFL. He's going to be a backup, which might be an appeal for him to go back to the XFL. You'll be starting. You can actually play. Yes, you'll be in the you'll be one step away from playing in a big game in the NFL, but we can offer you to actually play, and people are watching. People like you. You're a star. You are a star of the XFL. You go to the NFL, you can easily become forgotten. So XFL might have a little bit of a leg up. It depends exactly what their strategy is going to be. They might just let them go and say, okay, good job. Go into the NFL, move on. But it's going to be very interesting to see what they do with these star players, because if you lose these star players, can you really expect there to be other star players who can come in? It's going to be tough. But the one team right now that's blowing everyone out of the water is Houston. Houston's fantastic. They're very fun to watch. PJ Walker is a beast. The biggest upset I've seen, the biggest downer so far has been DC. This is my reason for DC. DC 2-0. Cardell Jones is having some problems now. Something's not clicking. I'm fearing the worst, that now they might be the worst team in the league. At least for week 2, the biggest downer. Biggest downer overall will be Tampa. And we'll go to Tampa here in a sec. But DC, man, Cardell Jones has got to get his stuff together. He's throwing picks left and right. He's got to calm down, relax, and get back to things. He looked fantastic in weeks 1 and 2. Looked like the best quarterback in the league. But now, he's scaring. He's scaring a lot of people, including myself. I was trying to be a DC fan. Made the change last week. I've been trying to figure out who I'm going to follow the first few weeks. I couldn't figure if it's Houston or Dallas or DC. My brother chose Houston, so naturally I decided to go against Houston. So I went straight to DC, and now I don't know what I'm going to do. It's like being a fan of the Bears all over again. But DC, they got to get their stuff together. Tampa, though. Tampa's a good team. Tampa's a team you do not want to underestimate. Trestman had a very bad week 1. Probably had a worse week 2. Week 3 gave play calling to his coordinators. And now, I mean, the team does look good. They just don't have that starting quarterback. Aaron Murray is still hurt. They got to figure something out. Why they don't go with Quinn Flowers, I really don't know. Taylor Cornelius is okay. He's not spectacular. He's okay. Quinn Flowers can give him that snap, that pizzazz they need, kind of like Lamar Jackson in Baltimore. He can kind of do similar things. Why they just don't go over to him, I really don't know. But you know, I was a fan of the XFL when they first announced it a couple years ago, but now it's better than what I thought it was going to be. I said week 1, it's not going to be good football. Just relax, calm down. It's actually been pretty decent football. The announcers have been great. The stations have done a very good job broadcasting it. I mean, it's been fun to watch. It actually looks like football. AAF just kind of looked like high school football. There was nothing special, really. This, I mean, it looks like a better version of college football. It really does. It looks like a cross between the NFL and college. I love it. So I'm a big fan of this league. It's going to go. It's going to go for a pretty long time, I think, more than 3 years. I think they'll be able to renew their deals and everything. But we'll see how the season ends up. The numbers, the views have been going down each and every week, and that's, to be honest, it's to be expected. After a good week one, I mean, week one is when everyone comes in to see what's going on here, and some people will say, "Well, I'm not really sure." Okay, they'll tune in week one, not really sure about week two. But you're going to see views probably go a little bit more down. It's going to be really interesting, though, if they can actually, once these teams really build up the chemistry, if more people are going to be watching, if this really becomes a bigger thing. But I'm a fan of it. I'm loving it. But next week, we'll talk a little bit more XFL week 5. I'm sorry, recap of week 4. We'll talk a little bit more about week 5, see what we can expect, and then see if there's any more news on the NFL. Combine is going to be ending this weekend. What's going to be happening? Is there news? We're coming closer to free agency. What's going to be going on with franchise tags? Big question there in Tampa Bay. Are they going to use their franchise tag on Shaquille Barrett, or are they going to use it on Jameis Winston? We'll find out here shortly. But thank you so much for watching. If you like these videos, please subscribe. If you like anything I say, dislike anything I say, please leave a comment. Please, I'm fine if you disagree with me. Please put it out there. If you have any questions that you want me to answer next week, put those questions in here as well, and I'll try my best to answer them to my best ability. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a good rest of your day.